Okay, here is how you will go ahead and get your informational report ready to type. We have already changed or added in, our different things. Some of our things we've already added in. So we've already added in things like your picture, your header, and page numbers. So I'm going to pull up Aubrey's here. Remember, to get started, you have to click on the pencil in the right-hand corner in order to edit. And now Aubrey has her cover page ready to go. So she's going to hit the enter return button until she gets to a new page. Now, that's annoying. It's not showing up. So what you're going to need to do is go to the plus sign, page break. Now we can see that there's a new page. But for some reason, her page numbers are not showing up that we put in on Friday. So you can go back and add in your page numbers if they don't show up. Now, click onto that second page so you can start typing your story. Then you'll want to make sure you left align your paper because stories should be left aligned. Then hit the hit the A to change the font to Times New Roman, 12-point font, and then go to paragraph and change the line spacing to 2. That's the way you should type an informational, or any school report. So when you get ready to start typing your story, you're going to want to make sure you use page 19 in your notebook to help you start. So the first thing you'll want to write is your introduction. You might have written a random fact that you want to include, or you might just have something you want to ask as your question to your introduction, or some random thing you found. However, we will be working on writing and revising our lead after we have the rough draft done. So if you don't have anything in mind, you can simply write, after you hit the tab button to indent, "This is my introduction," period, if you would like. We will go back and change that. You could, of course, start with something if you feel comfortable, like the bright, deep red coffee cherries are the ones that are ripe and ready to pick. Actually, I'm going to do this. Did you know that coffee comes from a fruit and is called a coffee cherry? Okay, if you just want to write "This is my introduction," that's fine. Then you'll hit the enter tab button to tab your story over, indent it. Make sure you're not just using the space bar so that everything lines up nicely. Now you're going to look at page 19 of your notebook. I have a picture of it in my photos so that you can get your information. So I'm going to start with that first box. Okay, trying to mark this up. I don't know. Oh, there we go. So starting with this box right here. Why can't I mark on it? Technology. There we go. So, never mind. That will ruin things. So I want to just start with how it's grown. So I'm going to start with a transition. And I would find a transition in that black binder behind Javen and Amari's spot. And I want to look and see what transition I want to use. So I might use something like first, or let's begin with. And remember that you need a transition or a comma after your transition. To begin, comma, let's talk about how coffee is grown. So I took my first topic, how it's grown, and turned it into a sentence. Now I want to use all that information that I found and write that in paragraph form. So I just wrote my 10 steps. So I would say first, coffee beans are planted. Then the cherries are harvested and processed. Okay, I would continue doing all of my steps, but for time purposes, I'm just going to stop there. Okay, and I will hit enter, return, and go to my next subtopic, which is when it was invented. So I'll want to transition for that one. Next, let's learn how coffee was invented. And then I go back to my notes and I want to turn all of those things that I wrote into into sentences. No one quite knows for sure. There are a lot of legends about its creation. The Ethiopian legend is that the goat herder Kaldi first discovered coffee. If I'm done with that, I hit enter, return, go back and look at my notes. My next topic is ways to serve it. And I could say, of course, there are many ways to serve coffee. Now I'll turn the notes that I found in that section into sentences. In the United States, coffee is served with milk and sugar. People in Portugal enjoy it iced with lemon juice. Ooh, that just still sounds so gross to me. But I'm not going to put that in my paper because this is not about my opinion. I'm just giving facts. Simmered with a cinnamon stick is how people in Mexico enjoy coffee. No, I see a blue squiggly line. I'm going to see what it says. Oh, I changed that to ices instead of iced. There we go. I can fix that. Oh, the Ethiopian legend. Yep, that should just be no S. Okay, now I'm going to hit the enter return button. Go back to my notes, and I've got how it's processed as my final topic. Finally, we will discuss how coffee is processed. Now I'll turn all of these little notes that I have into sentences. There is the natural or dry process where the coffee beans are sun-dried. Another option is to wash, called the wet process. In this process, the fruit is removed before the beans are dried. In the honey pulped natural process, the coffee beans are depulped before they are dried on the patio. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs so far. So now my last thing is going to be my conclusion. I might say in conclusion or in summary. I hope you learned something about the coffee cherry fruit so many of us like to drink. Okay? Or you could again just put, this is my conclusion, and we will go back and fix this later. So there is your informational report. Okay? Don't need to go worry about doing your works cited page yet. We will do that later. But if you see, you can go down to page 3 because you have a third page there. And you could center a line and write works cited if you wanted, so you're ready for the next step. Okay, good luck typing.